Hey everybody, Shay here. Welcome back to another chapter delve of My Hero Academia. We're working on chapter 6 today. What I can do for now, it's about 20 pages as well. And as I've learned from the last episode, 20 pages means 19 pages because we get a bonus page. And in an attempt to lean out the way that I do these, I'm not going to go into the fine-grained details into the narrative patterns that I use. I do use the story spine. And with that, I will say go into the description below if you want to see the quick breakdown of what the story spine looks like. And in any case, I'm breaking up this sliver of book right here, which is the chapter into its beats, and I'm kind of assessing it based on that. So without further ado, let's just jump right into it. We have a UA file here, UA file 01 class. I thought it was a 1A or something like that. Anyways, so number 18, so we know there's 18 students. Izuku Midoriya. I'm just going to say it like that. It seems to work, Midoriya. Okay, so we have quirk. To be determined. I might have been saying Ida last episode. It's Ida. So I'll remember that going forward, I hope. Now, I have this tendency that when I start saying names the wrong way, I perpetually say them the wrong way, and I catch myself as I go, if I'm lucky. Sometimes I don't. Just so you know, that's how the brain works. Okay, so we have quirk, to be determined, one for all. The crystalline. Wait, so this is another bonus page, but it's a bonus page at the front? Is that so when these get released weekly, in the Shonen app, let's say, or even in the magazines, because as I understand it in the comments, is that these would get released in a kind of anthology magazine sort of thing. Then they go to the Shonen Jump app as the entire chapter. Then they get collected as a volume. And damn it, I learned that word in the comments. Bokujo? No, in the Wikipedia. Anyways, whatever that's called. Whatever that term is. I want to know it. I want to know it now. Tankobon. I was saying Tankobon, wasn't I? I was saying Tankobon. I'm certain I was saying Tankobon. Tankobon. Is that about right? I'm trying. Okay. Anyways, wow, I derailed. Okay, let's get back into it. So a crystalline power network containing the strength of many others allows for unbelievable bursts of strength, but only for an instant. But Midoriya, well, it's still too much for the kid to bear, so using 100% of the power would break him in two. Probably explode him into little bits, more than two pieces. He's got to work on regulating it. Good luck, kid. That's probably from his idol, All Might. Anyways, I think I was asking where did these appear? Would this have appeared as a bonus page in the magazine and in the weekly Shonen Jump? And then we have just descriptions here on the little pieces there. Midoriya's backpack, big and yellow. Yeah, they're just like design notes, probably for the cover. Midoriya's shoes, big and red, fun to draw. So, I mean, it is like another bonus page with just like little artist notes here on the little pieces. I think they're fun. Tie not tied very well. His eyes, those tear ducts are always on duty. I love it. Even the artist is like, it's clearly his actual quirk. Cry on command. Let's move on, geez. Okay, let's go. First page. Remember how I talked about how I love the way that My Hero Academia does its first pages? It basically does a summary. I'm catching that as kind of like a technique. It's basically a splash page to remind you of the prior chapter, just so that when you're coming back to this, boom, you're going to get that immediate kick of where we're at. So I was told in the comments that the balloon texture itself represents the character that is speaking, but I mean, saying that, I did get to this first panel here and I read it, and it says, so the lowest score will be expelled, and that's a ... question mark. That's a question. So I don't attribute that to Loomer, and yes, he's Loomer for now because I forget his name again. Come on, it's been a day. I'll eventually know. Okay, Loomer. So, or no, the eraser. There we go, the eraser. It's only the first day. I mean, even if it weren't, that's totally unfair. So it sounds like a student is saying this because it feels applicable to the concern of a student. And then we read on. It's natural disasters, highway pileups, rampaging villains. Calamity is always right around the corner. I say Japan is full of unfair things. Heroes are the ones. Sigh. Who correct all the unfairness. So it's Eraser talking. If you were hoping to spend your evenings hanging out at McDonald's, I'm sorry to tell you that for the next 3 years, UA will run you through the ringer. That's plus ultra. It's got to be him. Use your strength to overcome it all. So bring it. And it's basically giving you the reminder they're in the test. They're supposed to do all of these tests now with powers so that they're actually getting measured for who they actually are, as opposed to the restraint that the prior education system forced upon them to measure their potential. Which the eraser is, he's like, no, hell no. This is like, and this is what that goes back to the thing I'm saying, where part of me is like, do the teachers or some of the teachers or something, don't spoil me, right? But that they must be leading to something, or maybe it's in a 3-year time limit. And this is crazy to think, right? But it's the idea that these volumes were run as if it's the story of them going through UA. But I mean, I know there are 24 of them because I own them. So that's got to be more than 3 years of UA. They likely graduate. There's maybe something after that, and maybe after that, it's like Kohei basically. I don't know. Maybe he's setting something up for 3 years from now, in story. Whatever that means in volumes. That'd be crazy. Okay, so we have the class here. Now it's for real. And again, that's not attributing. That bubble is not attributing to anybody. So I mean, it could be his thoughts. Kind of. I'm struggling with that one, but I'll eventually just kind of accept it, Even this one, the demonstration is over. I mean, I guess it's him. There's no tail, so maybe if there's no tail, it's, the narrator. It's kind of the setup here, so maybe you just assume that the narrator is the guy who owns the largest panel. And anyways, I'm dissecting this because that's what we're going to do here, because I'm a noob. And this is it. This is the experience. You're on this journey with me. Okay, event 1, 50-meter dash. He's a speedster. 3.04 seconds. Tenya. Ida. Quirks. Engine. I like how it's not super speed. It's not speedster. Well, speedsters, I don't think that's a trademark of DC Comics, but they're just speedsters. Everyone knows they're called speedsters, but it is very much a DC Comics Flash thing. But it's engine. is okay. He's actually got like some sort of he's got some help here with some how do you just get these? It's like, I'm a speedster. Can you give me those things that wrap around my calf that actually like kick off the engine power? I love it. Okay, I had to be 3rd gear for the 50-meter. He's actually talking in gear shifts. How do I forget? That's just I remember the powers being really creative. I didn't even remember the last chapter. I mean, I remember where this might end. I don't know how this even has a 7th chapter. Anyways, but I remember the powers being amusing to me because of the way they even write these. Like, it's a speedster, no engine, and the fact that he talks about gear shifts. I'm like, are you actually? That's how you think about your power? You're going 1st gear, 2nd gear, 3rd gear. You're just ramming it. So, anyways, so pretty straightforward. He's quick, yeah, like a fish in water. We'll see how he does in the other events. Yeah, so this is like the one-trick pony superhero. Of course, they exist in all comics. That's what that's why there's teamwork. That's why superhero comics generally have team ups and teams, and the strength of like working together and stuff like that is a huge trope. No, it's not even a trope. It's like it's a part of the genre. Okay. Anyway, so we'll see how he goes. Okay. So Suyu. Here we go. It's a new person. Suyu, Agui. I'm gonna say Agui. Suyu Agui. 5.58 seconds. Ribbit. She's kind of like a Toad from the X-Men. 7.60 seconds. I mean, she still has to run normally, though. She can make herself lighter, but she's still a normal runner. So, I mean, even as a normal runner, I mean, that the Frog Girl wasn't too much faster. How about him? He was at what again? 3 point... I mean, with the engine power, he's running double as fast as Gravity Girl. We'll get her name soon. Ochako Oraraka. Quirk. 0 gravity. Oh, okay. So using her power too much makes her queasy, makes her sick. So she's got a limiter on her abilities. That's cool. Okay, so we have, and then so unimaginative, all of you. Ready? If you can use your quirks. Whoa! Wow! I forgot there was a naval power. Oh, no better than this. Boom! I'm pretty sure it's his belly button. Am I wrong? Oh, is it a laser? What is this again? 5.51 seconds. This is a fun chapter. If I'd fired an instant earlier, my stomach would have exploded. What's up with him? Can't see this. Too blurry. Yuga. Aoyama. Quirk. Naval laser. So, he beat his record from middle school, at least. He shoots a laser from his belly button. His recovery time is restrictive, though. Okay, how do you take out a villain with that? Okay, they're pushing their quirks to their limits. I'm reading too much of this out loud, huh? I mean, but I'm saying this because, kind of suspicious. right away with this one. They're pushing their quirks to their limits by seeing how much they've improved. I can guess what they're capable of and what they're not. Dun 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 dun. I don't know, maybe it's like a red herring. It's gonna make you feel like you should be second guessing his motives. Plus, in the prior chapter, we also got the whole All Might, like he's gonna be trouble comment. Of course, that's a carryover there. So maybe it's just kind of a red herring. Jesus, and he was already fast in middle school, 5.58. What I used to collect the superhero cards when I was a kid that showed the powers. And so you could like measure them against each other, and then I collected hero clicks, which also allowed you to measure the powers, and I collected all the ringed binder pages in the 90s. So I'm sort of I'm getting in the weeds here. Okay, 3.04 seconds. I'm cray. Okay, Speedster's still the Speedster. But hell, he's like second place from a Speedster perspective. Granted, he probably can't keep it going though, right? Like, and maybe on like a marathon, like Speedster would win. Okay, I'm doing that nerd thing. Okay, so we have, let's move on here. So 7.02 seconds, is that, who did that? Oh, it was Midoriya. That was like him normal, and like he's even like, huh? Like he didn't use anything? I think that was his like normal running. And I'm pretty sure it was. So we do have a moment of reprieve here, and we're about a quarter in. So this is our Act 1 to Act 2 transition. We're gonna hit here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, right? 5, 6. So we're into Act 2. It's reminding us what the theme is here of this particular story arc, which is Midoriya trying to control himself and regulate his call on the All Might ability so he doesn't wreck himself. And that's giving you the reminder, because now it's gonna lead, like he has to take us down that journey. So the challenge itself is, of course, him not having the confidence to control and regulate, but of course that's the challenge he has to defeat in order to get into Act 3 and complete that arc. With that, let's flip the page. Let's see where we go from here. The trick is to regulation is sensation. So we have a flashback here. Oh, I see. There's the black behind the panels here. That's your call out. And even down here. Okay. It's not the panel itself. It's around the panels. It's not just that moment happened on the beach and then he moved on. It's a bunch of more conversation happened on the beach. It's just we didn't see it all at that particular point. We're being fed these memories as they're needed later on in the story. So you've already experienced 100% power. And it really messed me up. Then this should be easy. Remember how that felt? How was it? But it's just this graphic right here always kills me. Tingly maybe, or like foom. Yeah, like an egg placed in a microwave. Ding. It's great. It's just a mix of like images inside bubbles to represent instead of words in the bubble. It's just it's so flexible with the rules. And it's so plain but unique, and then burst. It always looks like blood spitting out of his mouth, and it's literally like there's always a trail of goop coming up out of his teeth. Is he literally bleeding all the time out of his mouth? Just existing makes him bleed? Jesus. If that's how you imagine it, then reduce the power, shorten the cooking time. Oh, do whatever you need to do so the egg doesn't explode. Think about it. Even this, like, hones true for me in the way that I've learned how to learn. I'm not very good at memorizing, as I said in a comment in the last episode. I'm not very good at memorizing, but I'm very good at associative patterns, associative memory. And so the idea here of Midoriya talking about this power as kind of like a microwave, but then the ability for All Might to say, okay, then think about it like a microwave. I wish I had teachers like that, because it would have made me learn a lot faster. Because I had trouble in, I guess, middle school and in high school, and then in post education is where that I had some really good profs that unlocked that there were other ways to learn, and I tapped into them. And it's kind of similar to this. It's creating these abstract ideas that just create ways for you to pull memories back, because you can make correlations. So this is the All Might bubble. I'm gonna start mapping you. I gotcha. Oh, calm down. 40 kilograms in middle school. So 48 kilograms in middle school. 540 kilograms. Jesus. Are you a gorilla or an octopus? I do not remember the look of those arms. It's like multiple arms in one. Or something, because that's not even a hand. Oh, it's like their fingers? It's just each. Oh my gosh. The fingers and the digits just are. Do we have a name? Are you gonna give me a name? You're not gonna give me a name for this dude? For forearm? Okay. We got laser navel. Oh my god, is that his name? That's his power. Is that his name? Laser navel? Is that memory coming back to me? Why? Let's just keep going. We are on the 10th page here. So halfway through Act 2, effectively. It's greater power, greater responsibility, and you get greater confidence. And so that is really what we're feeling, what I'm feeling out right now, because he's already failed. I mean, he's failed the third one. He's failed the fourth one, which is so it's the long jump. He's failed the sidestep. He's now on the fifth one. It's for throwing. It just floats. Peace. Infinity. I mean, it's in space. It's zero gravity. She's going to push it to space, and it's going to keep going. Imagine the kind of damage that thing might do, though. It hit some friggin'... Well, it might hit a planet, but it's not hitting it at like light speed. It's just going to keep floating until it hits space effectively. Wow, the infinity symbol actually popped up. What was I saying? And so Midoriya is failing at this point, and in these 2 pages, we have to get a moment, and we can already see it. So the flip page is going to get us that. I do like that the flip page here is vital, you know, because it's the halfway mark, and so that's usually when they're going to put something that's going to be like, oh, it's going to hit that. It's not the climax per se, but it's a thing that's at least going to give some hope back to the character and the path that they're on. And what was I going to say here? Oh, I like the fact that design-wise, that might be why they put this bonus page up front here, is that they knew, because on an app it doesn't really work that way, or in a magazine you might have some splash page or something that's going to give you the effectively take away this odd first page, which is, you know, again, from my perspective, standard comics will have that first splash page, and then you have the double page spread, which is 2 and 3. But this one had to kind of offset it a little bit. Strangely enough, I wasn't looking at the page turns. No, they seem like legit. It looks like it was part of the design. Let me go back here, because I'll talk about this as part of like the analysis of this, because I love you know, breaking down some of the even the layout strategies here and the pacing between panels. I do this for Western comics. That's why I love to bring this to manga, just to see how much of it pans out. A lot of it seems to, but also we're talking about My Hero Academia, which is likely very much leveraging the kind of the tropes of the Western comic industry. Not so much tropes, you know what I'm saying, like the design sensibilities, things like that. Definitely the characters, there's likely going to be some call outs and some jokes going on there, and definitely tropes as well. But we have this, I'm just looking at the page turns here just to see how it works. So he's going vroom. Okay, we get this. And then we have this on a page turn, and so it's right at the end, so that does seem to be effective, because then you get the page turn, he goes into a memory, and the memory actually spills over into the second page, so you have a nice flow here between panels. It's very smooth, goes into this one, and boom, it gives him his, like, you know, I gotta remember this is what it's for, the self-motivation talk here. And then of course he's still seeing people succeed over him while he's failing, and so by the second event here is him trying to do the focus, but still, I guess, holding back or being afraid. I mean, he's concentrating, just unable to do it. Goes to the next one, fails, next one, trips on or hits the line. So I mean, it hit on the morale for sure. And then he gets to, now it's funny here, because we are on the fifth test here is the throw. I do have this thing of the pseudo rule of threes, but when you think about it from, so even though he's on the fifth one, but narratively speaking, we're being told that it's going to be on, it feels like I'm bending the rule here. But it's like the first one kind of just assesses the fact that he's got to do it normally, but like when he has no choice but to put some effort into, some all might effort into it, he's gonna mangle himself, you know. So almost like, yes, he failed, but it's kind of a pre-setup. The second one is kind of like, okay, now he's going to try it, and he's going to still be like not quite have it, you know. But then we get this is why I'm bending the rules here. The pseudo rule of threes is they're just going to show you, like, it's like he's going to fail, and they do these in quick succession. They also do it in a very repetitive visual style here, not repetitive, but like a harmonious visual style here, just so you kind of go, he's failed, and it's all on one page too. So that's why I'm gonna own that pseudo rule, breaking that pseudo rule for this. Fail once, fail twice. On the third pseudo rule of three, he's got to succeed. He's got to like cross over, and we're on that kind of midway point, right? He's got to cross over into that greater power, greater responsibility, and then gain his confidence. So he's going to get into the greater power here. You can see his like arm is juicing up here. with the All Might ability. So he's triggered it. He's like turned on the microwave, you know. So he's getting up here at this rate. I'll have the lowest score. So of course you got the self-defeatist Midoriya. That always happens right before that pinnacle point. And even though this is a Midoriya quality to be hard on himself here, so at this rate I'll have the lowest score. We're just calling back to his psychology here, right? But this page is going to create this contrast of, they're going to remind us of his own personal flaws, that he's hard on himself, that he always feels like he's not good enough, but he wants to be this great thing, right? I've gone into that repeatedly because that's the entire theme of this first volume for me. And so Midoriya isn't doing very well. Well, duh, he's a quirkless runt. And so that's Bakugo talking to Ida. Quirkless. So you haven't heard about his feats during the entrance exam? So it's Ida defending him. So we got a little bit of an honor thing going on here that I talked about last chapter, right? So even though, you know, because he's looking and he's intrigued. He's got to be intrigued. He knows he's got the capabilities for it. So why isn't he doing it, right? So imagine like Ida's mind right now, where when he was doing that whole calculation of like, wait, he knew the whole time if he just like did the obstacle piece, he'd get points. And how, you know, and I wish I would have known that, or I wouldn't have been so focused on getting the villain points. And so I have to imagine Ida's looking at this going, you know, what is with this kid? Like, why is he holding back? Why is he not doing it? You know, so he's defending him, even though, like, did you not see what he did? You know, because he's like, you deserve to be better than me just because you actually did a more heroic action by, like, doing the saving, right? Not being so focused on excelling and letting other people get in danger, right? So we got, so Mom, All Might. So he's thinking back to, I suppose, the people who supported him, although Mom could have done better. Izuku. You look great. Well, she complimented it on what he's wearing. That's fine. You can be a hero, coming from his idol here, and in remembering him, I guess he sets the microwave properly. I can do it, and then boom, you got the microwave heating up, and 46 meters. So it goes, what? I did better, huh? But I was trying to use it. I erased your quirk. What? Russell? That ridiculous entrance exam. Completely. I forgot this. This is embarrassing. Okay, so we have that page turn event. The protagonist will kind of have this moment of, I call it the false victory, actually. It's where the hero believes that they've won, but then there's a twist, and it always happens at the middle. And it did right there. Okay, and then so here it is. Even I forgot. But he erased the quirk. So completely irrational when you consider someone like you got in. Erased. Those goggles, of course. What? Those goggles? Of course. What? His quirk nullifies others' quirks just by looking at them. He's the eraser hero. Eraserhead. He's a racerhead. Eraser? I've never heard of him. That's All Might in the back right there. Chatter. I think I've heard his name before. He's an angler type hero. Angler? What's an angler type? Anyway, don't spoil me. Don't say if it's going to spoil me. I saw it, how you can't control your quirk. You'd just be incapacitated again. Were you hoping someone would step in to help you afterwards? Flip. No, it's not like that. Whatever you were planning, it would have inconvenienced those around you. Way back when a certain hot-blooded hero saved over 1,000 people during a disaster, he made himself a legend. Am I able to see what's going on in these small little panels here? I'm going to assume it's All Might. So you've got the same reckless streak, but you're totally useless after saving just a single person. Izuku, Midoriya, you cannot become a hero with that power of yours. You've got your quirk back. Give it another go. Let's get this over with. Aw. Are you worried about him? I'm not worried at all. Who's that? Who's that? Even as I said that, I'm like, what does that small font say? It's Gravity Girl saying, and who are you? Exactly. Seems like he received some special instruction. Yeah, that instruction to leave this school. Bakugo, take it easy. Bruh. This is why I remember chuckling, and I didn't remember what I was so amused about with this. He's putting eye drops. In his face. Just little details. Will they give it his all and go down swinging, or shrink away from the challenge and end up with the lowest score? Either way, he doesn't have a chance. Regulating my power. I can't do it yet. And now I have to bet it all on my success with a single throw. All Might said it himself. This is going to take time. Damn. Mutter. I like the mutter balloons. Gotta go with full power then. You have raw. So that's a nice page turner right there. Whoosh. So everything's in slow motion. I'll never be a hero at this rate. Not yet. Oh, I see. So it's in the full swing. Oh, yeah. No chance. It's just like Aizawa Sensei says. Not yet. Because I have to work way harder than anyone else if I want to make it. That's a repetition line there that goes back a couple chapters too. Very good. He's always got to work harder. He's always at the starting line, right? I forget what chapter that was, the title of, but there you go. Not yet. Finger, right? Come on now. With full power. Powers up his finger. I'll give it my all in the smallest way. Now, I think the way to read this wasn't the way I did it. It's the way I'm going to do it now. It's big panel, down, down. I did this, because if this were reversed, generally in Western comics, it would have done top to bottom. It would have done a zag here. But I'm fairly certain, yeah, that's what it was. It's fine. It's kind of colored. You know, there's some design elements here that would work for this, though, right? You have the lines going down here behind this in the background of this panel. So it actually pushes the eye down. That's a my bad, you know? And then that kind of carries into the gray tone here. And I like the flow here. Finger, right? And then to now, Midoriya's face. And, of course, we get the powerful page turn again. We are absolutely in Act 3 now. This is going to be the big moment here. This is what I can do for now. Salami finger. Disaster here. He's a great disaster. So Bakugo. Aizawa. Did I get that right? Aizawa. Good memory. This pain, it's nothing like before. Throb. So his finger's busted. He didn't utilize his full power. He just concentrated into his fingertip. 705.3. You're just being incapacitated again. Were you hoping someone would step in and help you? Now, I feel like that's a memory, or because it's repeating. So we got a repetition happening here in this bubble, but there's no tail again. This does look like All Might's kind of bubble with the flares, and we get that clenched fist repeating imagery for Midoriya with the clenched fist, determination, right? Every time he has to get his shit together. Sensei, I can still move this kid. So it's like he kind of, I got worried there. Damn memory. But it's like he intentionally almost sabotaged him, because for him to be great, he almost had to force him to think differently about his power and put him into a circumstance that didn't that was the end. It put him into a circumstance where he had to think on his toes right now. And of course we got that from when he acts before thinking, right? When he went up against the glute monster, and when he went to save the girl, like he jump up, bust his legs, punch his fit, right? So he's gonna act, but this time he had to bring that all down. He needed to act, but he had to control the moment in which he acted, and if that moment was that trigger of the power, and then whatever, he has to hold a salami finger together into the next chapter. So, and then we have Shota Aizawa. How's that? Street clothes. So we got grunge boy here, or man. They don't put they'll probably say the age somewhere. Well, they don't though. Anyways, birthday 11/8. 183 centimeters. Favorite thing, cats. A man who lives by the rule of rationality. I tried to think what sort of person one would become if every decision was made rationally, and this is what I came up with. Assuming one didn't care about social decency at all, of course. The supplement. I'm thinking his bedroom is completely bare. A rationalist? Okay. Anyways, so there you go. That's another chapter, and I guess the epilogue or the end of Act 3. We're gonna see where this goes in the next episode. Man, I shifted my camera around so I wasn't gonna be talking off camera, and I'm doing this crap again because I'm overcompensating. Okay, so that's it for another chapter of My Hero Academia. We are almost done. And just to wrap this episode up here, let me do another quick check here. It does look like another 18 page. So that was actually like 18 pages because we lost the first page and the last page to bonus pages. So it's 18, not 20. And so I'm assuming this one's 18 to 19 as well for the last chapter. And so we have the name here. I'm going to speculate a little bit for the end of this episode. We have costume change. I don't think they're going to get into more character introductions of the other characters in his class. We got introduced to what I would presume are going to be the main-ish cast go forward, at least for the short term, into volume 2 for sure. It's going to be the 4 characters that we have gotten direct introduction to of the students. I mean, obviously we got the 3 side characters introduced so far. I don't think they're going to introduce any more in the second half of Act 3. I could be wrong there. I feel like if they were to do that, it's a little bit it's risky, because people tend to sort of be steamrolling through Act 3, as you can tell by how little I remember from Act 3. That's sort of what it is. You're kind of, by that point, the someone who's consuming media, they start to just be seeking the answers that they've been asking throughout all of Act 2. So as soon as they're given those answers, they're kind of wrapping up. Their brains are wrapping up and they're time to go. There's a reason why you put that stuff in the first half of Act 2. It's the kind of, you front load the information and those introductions of side characters in the first half of Act 2, and then you kind of carry that through as much as possible and make those introductions meaningful. So obviously we have the Izuku Midoriya, his main character. We have Bakugo, the opposition that was introduced early on in chapter 1, but does carry through. The relationship and the relationship dynamic doesn't really change, nor does the psychology of Bakugo. It's very early. It's only volume 1, so it's very much a staple. We have Ochako Uraraka, which is another introduction of a potential romantic interest. She's introduced early enough for me to say that there's, if not a romantic interest, there's going to be a kind of a camaraderie, a kind of a sister-brother kind of relationship going on there. They both seem like support characters in the sense of superhero support, not support, but they both seem, well, I mean, he's probably going to be a front player. I mean, he's in an interesting dynamic here, because right now he's like, mentally he's set up to be a support, I'm saying support superhero, like the crowd control, that kind of guy, a person who's worried about the safety of others first, not about being in the front lines to take things out, like a Bakugo, for example, or an Aida. And I'm saying Ida, even though he's a speedster, but he's like, I feel like he's the guy who's going to be charging in, because I sense a little bit of that noble blood in him to also like, and that's what's inspiring him to then look at Midoriya, and that's why I think that those 3 characters are vital to the introduction for volume 1 of My Hero Academia. They really set up the foundation now, and then we're going to start getting those other all those other characters I just got introduced. Not all those other we got introduced to 2 other characters. Frog Girl. There's a guy with some octopus arms. There's there's Laser Navel. There's the blonde girl who I forget. So we're going to be learning who all these other characters are, but my speculation, and I'm getting ahead of myself, it'll be like in the Act 2 of Volume 2 is where we're going to start getting introduced to more of the characters, just because I think Act 1 of Volume 2 is going to be more about establishing what the next arc is going to be about. I'm getting ahead of myself. I can talk about this in the next chapter, so I'll catch you there. Don't forget to explore, engage, and inspire, buddy. Peace.